Good evening, everybody, and welcome back for the very first time in 2024. Welcome back to VidaneTV. Happy New Year, everybody. Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the production trailer doing the thing that we like to do here, entertaining the masses on a, what is it, Tuesday night? I think it's Tuesday night. Here we are with the Wingnut Productions late model stock. Set your boys home track. Stafford Motor Speedway, and we're doing just a little bit of heat racing to kick things off tonight for the 45-minute Stafford Speedway Scramble, and we cannot be happier to share this Tuesday night here with you. Take a look right now. We got 12 drivers on pack, a 12-pack, if you will. Brandon Wilkinson, Chris Roma up in the front row. Sam King, Mike Hopkins, Brandon Campbell, the top five. James Pileski, Corey Hallett, Noel Bouchier, Dave Horton, Ashton Ricky, Dan Winters, and Brett Suggs going to round out the 12 drivers that are going to do battle here to try and get themselves into the big show here tonight. 21 drivers going to make the field in the main event here tonight. We're not running for a distance of laps. We're running for a distance of time. Going to be 45 minutes on the docket here tonight. We're running 4 heat races, taking the top 3, 3 consolation races, also taking the top 3, and that's going to give us, let's see, 12, 9, carry the 1. That's going to give us a field of 21 drivers here tonight, and it's going to be an absolute blast. We've got well over 50 drivers that have signed up for this event here tonight. January 2nd, the second day of the year. Happy New Year! We are racing for the very first time in the 2024 calendar year, and Brandon Wilkinson going to take an early lead over Chris Romer. They're side by side in behind Sam King. Gonna take a shot down on the bottom in that number 7 car. Chris Roma gonna try to tuck in the tire tracks. Brandon Campbell up in the mix as well. He's gonna get shuffled up onto the high side. Mike Hopkins, new colors for him, and that green and black machine down on the bottom side, using the apron to try and get that car to de-wedge itself. A little steel cage racing, as they like to call it on Friday nights here at Stafford Motor Speedway, and what better way to kick off the year than right here on VidaneTV. A little bit of side-by-side action now in behind Mike Hopkins. James Pileski side-by-side with Corey Hallett. They get it sorted out. Noel Bouchier had a great shot of that. New colors for the 36 there, I believe, as well. Nice deep blue. And looks like a matte black on that 36 car. Sharp-looking ride. Biggest mover of the race so far, though. The double threes of Brett Suggs moving his way up through the field. Up to 9th right now, breaking in to the top 10. Dave Horton back here as well. And we talked to Ashton Ricky briefly here, the series sponsor here with these late model stocks at Wingnut Productions. He thinks that Highline's coming in. I watched up the track just a little bit there. I've done that in the street stocks in real life here at this track. It is a tough corner to get down in there. There you see Dan Withers holding on to the back of the pack. And as we cross the stripe, 11 laps to go. Sam King, the new leader in that number 7 car. Little bit of conveyor belt action right now as everybody getting sorted out. Single file throughout the field. Doesn't look like we've got too many side-by-side battles throughout the field here. We got 10 laps to go in this very first heat race of the night. So these guys know they got a little bit of time to try and do their homework. You see Wilkinson in the 56 there, taking a peek down low on King in that number 7 car. Nothing quite there. And you'll start to see these drivers experiment just a little bit there. You see the 56 kind of taking those tires on the left side of the car, tucking them down underneath the apron here. Not out of bounds like you would see at a normal, at a big track, a super speedway or things like that. There you can see putting a little bit more of the car down to the bottom side there in turns 1 and 2. And you'll see the late model guys, you'll see the street stock guys here do that in the real at the real racetrack up at Stafford Springs, Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see a couple of those cats here throughout the field here. Mike Hopkins, a regular at Stafford Motor Speedway up in northern Connecticut, and pretty cool to see a lot of the guys that race at the track in real life jumping on board here in the Tim's Corner Motorsports Wingnut Productions late model stocks and showing that they know how to get around here just a little bit. You can see still single file up towards the front 5, 6, 7, 8 cars it looks like, all right in line. The 56 car taking a peek down low once again, trying to let that car breathe just a little bit. Nice and smooth as they come out of turn number 4. Turn number 2 that time by. You get a little crossed up here with the camel work. Coming out of 4 this time by. They're going to get a high five from Barney up in the flag stand. 5 laps to go in this first heat race of the night. Got to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight, giving us a little bit of time here on Tuesday nights to entertain the masses like we like to do here at VidaneTV. We're live all over the place, taking over the internet, as it were. We're live on Facebook for Tim's Corner Motorsports as well as VidaneTV. We're over on the YouTube page. We're on Twitter. Be sure to follow us over there, x.com/VidaneTV. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you smash that like button. Leave us a comment. It helps us out. Let the algorithm know that you're interested in some iRacing action here with VidaneTV, because we do it live all the time. We got a full schedule heading on in to January 2024. It already looks like we're going to have more races in the first 3 months than we did in half a year last year. So lots of stuff on the docket here at VidaneTV in the iRacing world, as well as a couple of other multiverses as well. We've got a lot of stuff going on with some minor league sports potentially coming through, something fantasy football, as we have a battle for, no, we don't have a battle for the lead. These guys getting wrapped up here with the first heat race. King, Wilkinson, and Roma going to be the three drivers that transfer on. Campbell misses the show just by one spot. Pileski there in fifth, Hopkins in sixth, Suggs, Fougere, Hallett going to round out the top 10. So a handful of those drivers going to be racing again here momentarily to try and get themselves into the show later on in this one. And man, oh man, it's great to have you here tonight. Again, give us the likes, the subscribes, the shares, leave us a comment, let us know who you're rooting for, where you're watching from, and as always, jump over on that Twitter box and take a picture of the big screen. If you got us up in the shop or the living room, let us know where you're watching from and join the conversation with hashtag VidaneTV. Taking a look down pit road, usually a busy pit road here, lots of cars lined up throughout the field here, but during the heat races here in iRacing, everybody's kind of in the virtual garage area, and we've got the 13 car down on the bottom side. That's going to be Fortin and Tufts on the outside in the double odd. Carson, Nagy, Scott Negus right in behind. Lucas Leon going to round out the top 5. Kyle Martin in the 45 car, going to roll off P6. Craig Kenny, Terry Duguay, Regan McCauley, and Lane Zardo going to round out the top 10. Travis Roman not making the call for this one. So 10 drivers out on track. We'll see Travis Roman in one of the consolation races here, the LCQs. The last chance for Romance to try and get himself into the show here tonight. 45 minutes on the docket here in the big show here tonight. As many laps as we can get done in 45 minutes is how many we're going to be running. So that's always going to be an entertaining aspect here as well. So 15 laps here for heat race number 2, and we're lined up 2 by 2 all the way through, getting ready to race once again here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Pace car going to dip on down to the safety of pit road, and we wait for these drivers to come on out of turn number 4 and take the green flag again. Heat race number 2 underway. Great jump for Fortin in the 13 car, the top 3, getting it all sorted out early. Tufts, though, getting attacked right out of turn number 2 by the 93 car of Nagy, taking a peek down low. They get it sorted out. They're going to go single file now at this point, with the 93 all over the back bumper of that double lot machine of Caden Tufts. A little side-by-side battle in behind there. Lucas Leon down on the bottom side in the 1 car with Scott Negus in the double 5. Up on the high side, not quite enough grip up there. You can see the 55 sliding back a spot. Able to slide on up in front of that number 45 car of Kyle Martin, and you can see there's a little bit of damage there on the front of the 45 car. Greg Kenny in behind there, all sort of single filed out. Little, I believe that's a Kevin Harvick throwback there. Good wrench surface, black and white scheme. Pretty cool looking ride here in these late models. The 64 of Regan McCauley, Terry Duguay back towards the back of the pack, trying to get that thing to handle just a little bit better. Lane Zardo back in the 24 car here as well, and we made mention Travis Roma not taking the green here in the heat races. We'll see him in the LCQ, but back up front still sorted out. The front 3 kind of pulling away just a little bit, 2-3 car lengths over that 4th position, and that's how you get into the show. You got to make it into the top 3 before you can say that you've raced in the big show here tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway. Got a 5-car breakaway, first side-by-side action back here in the second half of the top 10. They're all chasing that number 90 car of Craig Kenny. You can see the 55 drifting up just a little bit, trying to get a little bit of an advantage by getting up on the outside of the 90, just a little bit higher of a line, but not quite anything there. You can see the 64 car doing the opposite, down on the apron, trying to get that car to de-wedge itself and turn just a little bit better. Now he's going to go up just a little bit higher. There's a lot of different ways to get around Stafford Motor Speedway, and all of them are quick. Really is. You see Lane Zardo dropping back just a little bit. Still Fortin up front, though, in that 13 car. Coming out of turn number 2 and heading on down into 3 and 4. A little bit narrower down on this side of the racetrack. One of those history tidbits there. Back when this racetrack first got paved, the rumor is somebody moved the stake where you were supposed to, where the guys were supposed to dump the truck or whatever, and of the pavement, and it was like 10 feet over just a little bit. So it's a little bit wonky, almost like a paper clip kind of got squished just a little bit on one end. But Fortin's got it figured out on both ends, and you can see stretching that lead just a little bit. 0.4 of a second the gap now from first and second. In second, Caden Tufts, he's pulling away from the third place car of Carson Nagy, and they're getting things all sorts of sorted out here. A little bit closer is the battle for fourth. Lucas Leon holding on to the spot. Kyle Martin right on the back bumper. You can see giving him a shot just a couple of times there, letting him know he's there, but still racing very cleanly. These guys know they're going to have to work together just a little bit to see if they can maybe catch up to that top 3 and break into that podium spot and make it to the big show here tonight without having to drive themselves through the consolation races coming up here. You can see the 45 car taking a peek down low. Nothing quite there. Going to back up and restack it, re-rack it once again, and see if he can get a little bit of homework done in these final 5 laps here in heat race number 2. Matt Marr, Freddie Bannister, and Devin Laffin chiming in from Facebook. Cheers, guys. Happy New Year's. Thanks for joining us here on a Tuesday night. And man, we got some exciting racing here, and made mention my home track here tonight, Stafford Motor Speedway. Got some of the Stafford regulars in here as well. Going to do some battles around this half-mile paved oval. It's very flat. A lot of flat tracks up here in New England, in the northeastern part of the country, and you can see there's a couple of guys that have really figured it out. The top 2 now. Whoa, second place Tufts gets up into the wall just a little bit. Nothing too crazy, just enough to scuff the car up coming to the checkered flag, and those 3 drivers are going to race here in the feature. Fortin, Tufts, Nagy, the top 3. Everybody else going to have to jump on in to the old tablets, watch some heat race in action, and they're going to have to find themselves racing their way into those consi races here coming up in a few moments time. But we're going to line them up once again here for heat race number 3, and young Tanton Woldridge up on the pole for this one. There you see him getting lined up on the front straightaway along with all of the other drivers in this Wingnut Productions late model stock series. Race number 4 of 6 on the season here. It's crazy to think it's already January 2nd. We are moving towards racing season at a rapid fit pace, and I'm excited, and that's coming from a fellow that just came up from Daytona, spent the week down there for Kart Week. Got to give a shout out to all the Pit Road TV guys, Tony Stevens, Andrew Perdue. Thank you so much for having me down there. Had a blast, learned a lot, and a lot of it's going to be able to kind of transfer into this sim racing stuff that we do here on VidaneTV, and oh, by the way, there's a lot more to come in the real racing world as well. But here we go, lined up 2 by 2 for heat race number 3. Tanton Woldridge, Tyler DiVincenzo going to be the front row. Brianna Weigel showing a lot of speed here in practice at Stafford Motor Speedway. Much quicker than Tim Terry from what we can see here on the charts. Dale Glessner, one of the NEP guys. We'll see those guys return here Thursday night. He's going to roll off P4. John Gahan, Devin Laffin. We saw him chime in Facebook chat earlier, so it's always cool to see the drivers tune in and give us a little insider info in that Facebook chat. Doug Murphy in the mix as well. Danny Vitch in that Major Mellon Mountain Dew car, the number 29, Dave Roberts, Nicholas Noggle, and Tony Wright going to round out the 11 drivers in heat race numero tres as we get them all lined up 2 by 2. The lights are off in the iRacing pace car, getting ready to rock and or roll once again here at Stafford Motor Speedway. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in here tonight. Here on a Tuesday night, late model racing at its finest. One of the best places to do it in my eyes, Stafford Motor Speedway. And we're doing it live. As you can see, pace car's gone. Great restart, initial start there for the 28 car on your screen, 56 in the scoring for Tanton Woldridge. Tyler DiVincenzo going to tuck into the tire tracks, and it looks like the top 3 get it all sorted out. Brianna Weigel holding on to that 3rd spot, but it is a dogfight for 4th. Dale Glessner on the back bumper of 3rd, but the door's getting kicked down from down on the bottom side. John Gahan going to move on down to the bottom and see if he can take that position from Dale Glester and get just a little bit closer to the podium. Boom, there it is, slide job. Oh, a little crossover action though. Dale Glester going to try and peek down low and take that spot back, but not quite enough momentum for the 10 car. Going to tuck back in to those tire tracks and do his homework. He's got 13 laps here to see if he can get it figured out, where that car in front of him is going to go, high, low, what it's going to do on older tires here at this point. And he's got a little bit of time here, but with as quick as these drivers are getting around this racetrack, not ideal to sit back on your laurels and hold on for that spot. You got to get out there, grab the race by the horns, and see if you can get into the top 3. That way you don't have to worry about the Conti race. You can sit back, grab you a quick little Gatorade, a Gator Light, whatever you may drink at the racetrack, maybe an energy drink or something along those lines, a little cocktail even. But gives you an opportunity to kind of relax for just a few moments and jump on VidaneTV, talk to the fans here that have tuned in all over the world, which is cool to say here at VidaneTV. We go worldwide. Lots of folks tuning in throughout the past 3 years, and now we're heading into the 4th year of doing this sim race broadcasting, and we've grown by leaps and bounds here in the past couple of years. We couldn't have done it without all of the fans here, especially on all of the socials. We're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're over on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Be sure to hit the like, the subscribe, the share, all that good stuff. Really helps us out in a big way. Let that algorithm know that you're looking for some iRacing action, and we're doing it almost every night of the week. Happy to announce the RBR Maritime Group coming back for season number 7. We're going to be getting some late model racing here on a Monday night, and we've got some super truck action that we are working on penciling in the deal here for Friday nights here on VidaneTV, and that's going to put us right up there with racing 4, 5, almost 6 nights a week here on VidaneTV, and that's how we like it, man. We like these race cars, we like the simulated racing, we like the action, and we like entertaining the masses. And if you want to be a part of it, be sure to shoot us a DM. Oh, trouble in the back. We got the 16 car of John Gahan is around. That's going to give us the first caution here of the evening. Looks like he gets it all sorted out, squared away. But man, oh man, that is a tough break for the 16 car. No damage. It looks like a little bit of damage there on the front end. We'll see if we can back this up and look at the replay, because that's how we do here on live TV. We'll take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, and it looks like just a couple of drivers going for the same piece of real estate. We saw these guys driving hard earlier on. The 10 car down on the track on the apron, and we made mention not quite out of bounds here at Stafford Motor Speedway. But there you can see it's tough to get on down around when you've got someone up at the quarter panel. So it sends the 16 around, it gathers it back up, straightens it back, and we'll be racing here once again. But on a caution for the first time here at Stafford Motor Speedway with 6 laps to go. Lights off the iRacing pace car, lining them up 2 by 2, getting ready to rock and roll. There goes the pace car, going to jump on down to the safety of pit road, and the green flag in the air once again. A good start for Woldridge. Crosses up in front of DiVincenzo. They've got it sorted out. They're pulling away. Brianna Weigel still holding on to that 3rd spot in the 11 car, the 92 Lightning McQueen machine, the Rusty's car. How about that? Of Doug Murphy trying to take a peek down low, going all the way down in the apron. And you can see checkered flag flying here with 4 laps to go. That's going to be a white flag. We might have had a time limit there. Oh, the Rusty's machine up into the 11 car. So Woldridge, DiVincenzo, and Weigel going to move on to this one. We might have hit a time cap on that. We'll have to double check on that. But here we go. We're lining them up once again for heat race number 4, and you can see another 11 drivers there on that scoring tower getting ready to do battle again, and we're going to be taking the top 3 in this heat race as well. And here we go, the number 39 car of Reagan Parent down on the bottom side. Trayton Lapkovic in the number 32. There you see the 20 on your screen just popping into the car. Colton Effingham there in 3rd. Ryan Libby in the 4th position. Dylan Black, Corbin McCauley, Quentin Carpenter, Brett Byron, Dave Cassidy, Tim Terry, and Brandon Newhouse. Tim Terry's got that 28 car out on track. He's supposed to be in the truck. We're not sure what Tim's doing, but he's going to go out there and turn some laps there. I think he's in the ugly sweater car still here at Stafford Motor Speedway. So we'll see. Well, no, it looks like we got the backup car out there, the black and green backup car. So we'll see what Tim Terry can do here in this heat race with 15 laps on the docket as we're lined up 2 by 2, ready to rock and roll. Beautiful shot there down the front straightaway. Another shot there from turn number 1 at Stafford Motor Speedway, a familiar sight here for Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. always down there on Friday nights working with the Renner Race Car crew, the 39 late model there as well of Paul Verricchio Jr. Great season up in the top 5, 6th in points, I believe, in the late models. Might have even been higher up. I think it might have been 3rd. We'll have to double check on that. But shout out to those guys. I missed the New Year's Eve party because it's down in Daytona. So you got to give me a little bit of slack there. But great working with those guys. Got to give the Renner Race Car guys a shout out because we're in their house here tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway. Green flag flying once again. Reagan Parent, the 17 car, able to pull away just a little bit, and that's one of those regulars, those Stafford Speedway locals that we talked about. Those guys run in the NEP series. You'll see them here Thursday night on VidaneTV. The front two pulling away just a little bit. Colton Everingham getting it single file, but they're getting double file up towards the front. The 32 car there, or check that, the 20 car on your screen of Lapkovic, trying to take a peek down low early here with 14 laps to go in this heat race, trying to see if he can get down and around Reagan Parent. Reagan Parent, one of the smoothest sim races we've seen in these late model divisions, but you can see the I rating is up there. As Drayton Lapkovic, no stranger to short track racing here as well. Colton Everingham in that 3rd position, the final transfer spot here in that 48 car as well. Dylan Black, Ryan Libby, the top 5, and you can see those guys doing a little bit of side-by-side. Oh, Libby into the back, and that's going to cause the caution flag once again here for the first time in this heat race, but not the first one we've seen here tonight. Just getting in there just a little bit too hot to trot, but we'll back it up and take a peek at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, and that's what we do here at Live TV. When things happen, we take a look, and we're gonna go up into the blimp, up into the old drone camera, as it were, for this U-House Racing Designs instant replay. And there you see a little side-by-side of battle. The 46 car just a little bit too hot, gets a little bumpski, gets sent on around, gets a little help from the back. There you see the 3 car of U-House gets a little bit of piece of the action, but nothing too crazy there. They get it all sorted out, and they're going to re-rack and restack and go racing once again. So 11 laps to go. They're all lined up behind Ryan Libby. Actually, they're lined up in front of Ryan Libby. Looks like we might have had, Ryan Libby took the tap. Ryan Libby's in the back of the pack now here at this point. So that's going to be big. That's a lot of track position to lose here at Stafford Motor Speedway. But it's one of those deals, man. You get into an incident, and if it was your cause, you tap out. You got to go to the back and try and work your way up towards the front. And this restart just a little bit tighter than the last one. There you are, door handle to door handle, it looks like, as they head in to turn number 1. Reagan Parent able to hold on. It drifts up the track just a little bit. You'll see that in big-time sim racing. The 20 car going to slide back just a little bit and open up the door for Everingham. Everingham going to take a peek, but he's got a whole bunch of drivers all the way around him. There you see the 08 car trying to move up into the mix. Dylan Black, Quentin Carpenter up in the top 5 as well. The leader gets spun on around, and it involves almost everybody. David Uhouse getting a piece, or Brandon Uhouse getting a piece of the action. Going to bring out the second caution flag of this heat race, and these drivers know they got to go. It's getting close to the end. They got to get up towards the front, get into that top 3 to try and make themselves up into the feature here tonight. And well, if we keep this up, we might see Tim Terry in his own feature here tonight. We'll have to see what happens, but backing up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay again, we'll take a peek from high above the racetrack. We'll call it the blimp cam, we'll call it the drone cam, but you can see some racing action all the way around, little side-by-side action up towards the front, and that's where we're going to look, and we're going to back that up one more time because we hit the wrong button. Things happen in live TV. It's been a long week. We got sunburn this week. The brain's still a little bit foggy, but there you see, there's the contact between the 20 and the 17. A little bit of bumper car action there. You see the other 17 car getting a piece of the incident as well. So some of these drivers going to have to work their way up through the pack once again. There's Reagan Parent from the lead back there to 8th. So has to pass a couple of cars here to get up into the transfer spot. The pace car going to dip down once again. Everingham and Black, the front row, and there you see the 48 car getting that hole shot. He's going to move up, slide on up into the high side of the track before they get on down into turn number 1, and that's how you do a restart here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Front 2 all sorted out. Dylan Black able to pull away from that 3rd position, but they're side by side. Ryan Libby worked his way through the field again, and here comes the 46 car, and we have hit the time limit in this heat race, and officially looks like Everingham, Black, and Libby going to be the top 3 drivers that cross the stripe and make their way into the feature here tonight. So they're going to be a part of the Big 21, and we're going to line them up again, and this time we're doing some consolation races, and we got another 11 pack of drivers. We're taking 3 once again, and it looks like Tim Terry not able to make it in on the heat race. So we'll see if he can make it in on the consolation race here coming up tonight. 3 last chances for romance. 3 chances for romance. 3 more chances for we're not sure. It's been a long week. We're still a little bit New Year's Eve. Hung out with Wesley Hogue for the very first time too. So there was a lot of hot tubbing. It might have been a little bit of wobbly pops getting passed around there as well. So we're a little bit foggy, but we'll figure it out. We're consi racing here. 3 more of these consolation races before we get on to the 45-minute Stafford Speedway Scramble. Brandon Campbell going to start P1 in this one. Brett Byron going to roll off on the outside. Nicholas Noggle, Scott Negus, Trayton Lapikovitz going to be the top 5. Brett Suggs in this consolation race as well. Terry Duguay, Dave Roberts, Corbin McCauley, Dave Horton, and Dale Glessner all going to be in this field here tonight. 11 drivers. We're going for the top 3. They're going to transfer on in to the field here tonight, and we'll see if we can get a quick word with Tim Terry. You ran that heat race. How'd the car feel, Tim? You're supposed to be in the truck, aren't you?
Yeah, can you move me back down? We're busy trying to diagnose.
Nope, Tim's pushing buttons down there, so we'll talk to him about the car after the fact. But green flag racing coming up. Lights off on the pace car, lined up 2 by 2 all the way through. And there you see the 99 of Brandon Campbell just barely made it or missed the show here tonight. Looks like he might have a little bit of a connection issue there in the 99 car. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But finished in 4th in the heat race. Got himself a pole qualifying effort for this consi. Got to try and hold on to it and see if we can finish in the top 3. Brett Byron up on the high side. The green flag flies here at Stafford Speedway. And we're racing once again. And it's a little bit of calamity corner as we head on into turn number 1. Turn 33 is around, and there are multiple cars involved in this one. Terry Duguay cutting the grass in the 14 car. Caution for we're not sure how many times it's been out here tonight, but the first time in this consolation race. So these guys know that they got to go now. You got to get up in the top of the field to try and make the show here tonight. It looks like Terry Duguay going to try and pull that car down into the garage area, into the infield. May be done for the evening. It looks like, hard contact there. Drove up underneath the car. So that's a tough break for the 14 car. Not quite able to get the performance out of that thing. We're going to take a quick peek here at the slow motion. Here's a little 3 wide action. There you see the 17, the 10 of Glessner down on the bottom side. The 73 is in the mix as well. And as you can see from the shots, it is a hard contact there for the 14 car up into the 55 car rather, of Scott Negus. Big time damage throughout the field, and it's going to be tough to try and recover from that one. One more look at it before we get back to the front of the field here, before we take the green flag. And you can see Scott Negus going to take the tap on this one. Terry Duguay going to park it down on the infield, and the lights are still on that pace car. So there we go. 1 to go. There we go. We're lining them up 2 by 2 again. Brandon Campbell going to have to show us that restart once again. The 99 down on the bottom side. The 22 of Byron up on the high side. Noggle, Suggs, and Lapkovic. The top 3. Roberts, Glessner, McCauley, Horton, and Negus going to round out the top 10. And those are the 10 drivers still eligible to win this race. Don't necessarily have to win it, but you got to get up into the top 3. And there you see the iRacing pace car going to dip down to the safety of pit road one more time. Pit road entry here on the backstretch at Stafford Motor Speedway. Brandon Cable going to take a quick shot, and Nicholas Noggle is around in the 08 car. I believe we're still green. Now, caution. And the 08 car cutting the grass there on the front straightaway. We'll take a peek at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay to find out what he's doing over there, how he got down onto the infield of the Stafford Motor Speedway here. And David Arute cuts the grass here, and I'm sure he's not happy about virtually tearing up the front straightaway, leaving the ruts, leaving the tire tracks and all that good stuff. And he restarted here from the 3rd position. So we'll back that replay up. We'll hit the play button. There you see it on the restart. A little bit of a bumpski from the 20, and it looks like contact from the 33 car as well. The good news here, no other contact with the 08 car. So able to gather it back up, grab a gear, get going once again, and going to be able to rejoin the field, albeit back in 9th place. Looks like Terry Duguay going to rejoin the field. Got the damage worked out, but a couple of laps down for that number 14 car with 9 laps to go here. Remember, we got a time limit on these Conti races. We're not sure what the time limit is, but it's definitely something to keep in the back of your mind here. Brandon Campbell, Brett Suggs going to be the front row here. How about that? A couple of duels up there, the 99 and the 33. Dale Glessner there in third. Where did he come from? 8 spots gained here from where he qualified. Lapkovitz in the 32 car going to roll off fourth. Dave Roberts rolled it on to the 5th position. Dave Horton, Scott Negus, Brett Byron, and Nicholas Noggle going to round out the lead lap cars. Actually, Terry Duguay going to get the wave around, and I believe he's going to rejoin the lead lap here. So 10 cars still on the lead lap. Corbin McCauley down on the pit road. He is done for the evening in the 117 car. Tough break for him as the lights are off. There goes the pace car. We're going to get him going once again, and we're taking off in a hurry. Brandon Campbell going to let these guys know that he's not messing around. He wants to go. He wants to get this race over and done with and get on in to the big show. There's a little sideways action from the 20 car. That's going to be Scott Negus involved as well. Lapkovic spun around. The 55 car gets a piece of the action. We're staying green, though, here at this point. Got to get it in. Actually, looks like we're going to hit that time limit. So no caution, and unofficially, Campbell, Suggs, and Glessner going to be the top 3 in this one. So, man, oh man, when you hit that time limit and the race officials say, hey, it's time to go, man, it is time to go. And there you see, we're going to get 3 more guys into this field. And we're going to line them up for what I believe is going to be our final consolation race here of the evening before we get going with the 45-minute Stafford Speedway Scramble. Race number 4 of 6 in these Wingnut Productions late model stocks. And it's going to be carrying us on through the winter months here. Lots of dates added, with a couple of new leagues and a couple of old friends rejoining the airwaves here at VidaneTV. Happy to announce that Monday nights now belongs to, once again, the RBR Maritime Group, jumping on in for season number 7. Been around with VidaneTV, good friends of ours for a very, very long time. You'll see some of those drivers from that league up in this league and doing a little bit of racing here in the late model stock division. Friday nights, we've got some things in the work, couple of things penciled in, and oh, by the way, Liberty Racing League coming back for the playoffs here later on in their season. Going to be joining us late January, early February. We're going to be covering a couple of those races. Shout out to the Liberty Racing crowd as well as Wes Hogue. I was able to get down there and spend the day in Jacksonville, hang out with the Rowdy One for the very first time, and that was lots of calamity. Lots of calamity, we'll call it that. Something new race car and truck down there as well. So we'll probably be seeing a little bit more action with Showtime down in Florida coming up in the next couple of months. But here we go. Top 3 going to be moving on to the big show here tonight. Lucas Leone, James Pileski going to be the top, the front row here. Brandon Newhouse going to start on the inside of row number 2. Devin Laffin, Craig Kenny, Noel Fougier, John Gahan, Tim Terry, Ashton Reiki, Lane Zardo, and Quentin Carpenter. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be good. We've got Tim Terry and Ashton Reiki in the very same race here tonight, and in the same heat race. They're good friends. They're colleagues, they're co-workers, but they are probably the most aggressive racing towards each other. They're very competitive towards each other. They want to get up towards the fronts, and well, we looked at the practice times, and they were on page like 6, so we'll see what happens in this one. There goes pace car from the back straightaway, going to turn on down to the safety of pit road one more time. Green flag racing here. Lucas Leon going to get the shot in that number 1 car, clear by 2-3 car lengths. They're side by side in behind, though. James Pileski down on the bottom side, drifting up just a little bit. Check that. That's Brandon Newhouse in the 3 car drifting on up. James Pileski on the high side, and you can see that high side still able to hold on just a little bit, but the 3 car down underneath the apron, trying to get that car to the wedge. A little bit of sideways action for the back end of the 93 car. Going to hold on to it. He's got the advantage up in that middle groove. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Newhouse gets loose. The 3 car going to tuck in. He's going to slide up the racetrack, open the door for Craig Kenny in that number 90 car. He's going to move on down to the bottom side of the track. We're still side by side for the transfer spot. Newhouse has it by a nose. Oh, trouble in behind. That's going to be John Gahan. No, check that. Devin laughing around in the 8 car. He gathers it back up. Oh, but unfortunately, that's Ashton Reiki on his outside, spinning on around. That's Tim Terry, too. Oh, man, Tim and Ashton, what are you guys doing? Well, Tim's going to get down to the truck. We stay clean and green. We'll probably see Ashton Reiki up here in the broadcast booth once we get down to it. That's a tough break. Unfortunately, don't have the replay, it doesn't look like, because we still are green here at Stafford. Leon Pileski and Uhouse in the top three, and there you see them. These guys attacking the racetrack, getting on into it, making the best of a situation, seeing if they've got a little bit of open track. There's the leader. He's got himself over a second lead now at Stafford. Pileski in second, Uhouse a little bit further on back here as they come out of turn number 4. Going to be 10 laps to go in this last chance for Romance, the last chance qualifier for the 45-minute Stafford Speedway Scramble here on a Tuesday night. Now keep in mind, we do have that time limit on this consolation race. Not quite sure what the time is, but man, oh man, that's going to be in the back of these drivers' mind. They know that if the caution flag comes out, they're losing time for racing. So they want to get the action over and done with. Not over and done with, but they want to get up towards the front as quickly as they can. And there you see the gap between first and second. Pileski comfortably in second, has about a second, almost 2 seconds now over the third place car of Brandon Uhouse. That's going to be the battle for the position right there. And man, oh man, the Uhouse is holding on to the bottom side. Craig Kenny in the 90 side. And as I glance over to the Facebook chat, Freddie Bannister, you nailed it right on the head, brother. Rock and Roman at Mania would be absolutely wild. They would blow the roof off that place. Man, it was cool to see. Got off the plane from Daytona last night. I got home late and sat down in front of YouTube and saw that The Rock returned. Spoiler alert, The Rock returned on Monday Night Raw last night, day 1 episode. So that was pretty cool. Mark Creighton joining the chat as well. Says, let's go Pileski, rooting for the number 2 car, or the number 2 position rather, as you can see that 93 car holding on to second. Brandon Uhouse still holding on to that transfer spot. He's got Craig Kenny in the 90 car though, hot on his tails. 5 laps to go, but we're not quite sure what that timer's going to do. So keep that in mind, and that's going to be something in the back of these drivers' mind as a little time attack here this evening, and that may very well be what it is. 45 minutes on the docket for the big show here tonight, and these guys know they got to get going. Leon up in the front has a second lead over Pileski. Top two comfortably in this one, and you can see Craig Kenny trying to get a little air on the front of that nose, trying to get that car to de-wedge just a little bit better than that 3 car, but Uhouse able to pull away just a little bit. He's got about a car length, maybe 2, maybe 3 after that corner. Big slide for the 90 car. Loses the back end of the race car and runs out of time. The stopwatch hits 0, and we get the checkered flag. Leon Pileski, Uhouse going to be the top 3 in this one. They're going on to the big show here tonight, the 45-minute Stafford Speedway Scramble. Everybody else, they're going to be tuned in to VidaneTV here on YouTube, here on Facebook, we're not on TikTok quite yet, or on Twitch. We are on Twitch. We're trying to get over on TikTok, but we got to get ourselves 1,000 followers, and I think we need about 600 or so. So shoot on over to TikTok.com/VidaneTV. Give us a like. We're putting up all sorts of highlights and shorts and reels and clips and all sorts of neat stuff over on the TikTok. We're going to line them up once again for another Consi race. And there you see the Rusty's machine, the number 92 of Doug Murphy, going to start on the pole. And it's always cool to see race cars painted up as Disney and Pixar's cars. That's one of the coolest movies as an adult, as a kid, as an adult, as a race fan. Always cool to see those paint schemes. But Kyle Martin, Doug Murphy going to be on the front row of this one. A pair of those NEP drivers jumping on in here tonight for row number 2. Going to be Reagan Parent, Mike Hopkins, Regan McCauley, Danny Vitch, Dave Cassidy, Corey Hallett, and Tony Wright. 9 drivers in this one, taking 3. Moving on to the big show here tonight. And we're lined up 2 by 2. Lights are already off. We've gotten the 1 to go. We're going to get ready to race once again here at Stafford Motor Speedway. And again, got to give a shout out to all the guys that are racing this race here tonight that are streaming. Brett Suggs 33 is racing as well. He's over on Twitch and he's streaming. If you wanted to get an onboard look at some of these drivers, make sure you let them know though that VidaneTV sent you. We mentioned the Twitch stream over on the airs, and give him a follow. Always good to follow along with these race car drivers, supports the hobbies, support what's going on, and honestly, that's how you get a lot of the insider information with the sim racing crossover with real racing, because a lot of times when there's snow on the ground, as there's going to be here this weekend, it looks like, unfortunately, a snowstorm coming into the Northeast, so that's gonna be tough. Gonna have to stay inside and watch us here on VidaneTV. But there you see it, the green flag flying once again here at Stafford Motor Speedway. The front two get it sorted out. Martin in the tire tracks of the 92. He's gonna try and ease that rust, or whatever Rusty's does. I think it just helps you out with loose. It's an animated sponsor, so it's hard to sell what it actually does. Martin up into the wall, though, getting a little bit of that Stafford white paint on the side of that car. Doesn't look like it slowed him down any. And the front 5-6 cars all single file as we work lap number 2. And we haven't been hitting the full lap distance here in these races. We've been hitting the timer to take the checkered flag, and there you see Martin knows that. He wants to get up, down, around the 92. He's going to get down there, make a little bit of contact, wrestle his way in, and that's why they call it steel cage racing here at Stafford Motor Speedway on Friday nights in all of the divisions. Lots of beating and banging, fender door handle to door handle, beating and banging, bumping, slamming here at Stafford Speedway, and that's why we're always entertained when we get on down or up there to watch some racing. I guess it'd be down there if you're coming down from Canada, up in Maine, or the northern parts of the Northeast. But 12 laps to go here. Might be even less time to get there. As you can see, Hopkins holding on to that third spot right now. A little bit loosey-goosey in the back of that 78 car, running up the track just a little bit. Just enough. You can see kind of a late apex for the 78 car. He's going to take a peek down low in the 92 car. Nothing quite there. Nope, just kidding. He's going to boot that door down. Oh, connection issue it looks like for Doug Murphy in that 92. That's going to be tough. That's going to be something we'll have to keep an eye on, as well as the 78 car. He's going to look down low, but the door gets slammed on the front bumper. The top three going to make the show. Remember, Hopkins is in here at this point, but he's got an NEP running mate in behind, Reagan Parent, that would love to run this show, this feature here as well in that 17 car. And you can see those guys definitely work together in practice, run a very, very similar line here around the half mile at Stafford Motor Speedway. Hopkins has a spot. Parent does not. Trying to see if both of these drivers can make it into the top three and make their way into the feature here tonight. They're all chasing, though, that 45 car of Kyle Martin, who comes out of the corner once again. Oh, a little sideways action between that second place battle. Hopkins going to take a peek down the bottom side. He's got the spot now on the 92. Can he clear him? No, it's going to be the 78 back just a little bit. Oh, he misses turn one. That's going to open the door for Parent. Oh, contact between the Parent up into the outside wall. Hopkins gets the spot. The 92 slides on back to third, and Parent up into the outside wall. Caution, caution, caution. Looks like some big damage there for the 17 car of Parent. Going to come down the pit road. Nope, going to stay out on track and see if he can get that thing back up towards the front. We'll take a look at the U-House Racing Design instant replay and find out exactly what happened here to get us under caution in this Conti race. And it's one of those deals, man, where these drivers, they know they got to get up into the top three. They want to make the feature here tonight. First feature race here on VidaneTV in the 2024 calendar year, so you know you want to be in the big show. The 17 sending it on in there hot. You can see kind of crosses up in front of the 92. They make contact up into the outside wall. Caution flag comes out. And there you see the Reagan Parent machine going to sit on pit road, get some damage repaired as they get it all lined up there. Lights already off of the iRacing pace car. Getting ready to do battle once again, and lined up 2 by 2. Going to make them wait for it this time. The 45 car of Martin gets the whole shot. The 78 car of Mike Hopkins going to slide into the tire tracks here at this place. And new battle for third between Vitch and McCauley. Danny Vitch going to hold on to the spot there as he's running a different paint scheme here tonight. The Quaker State ride, it looks like, and that's going to give us the timer. And that's going to close it up. Martin, Hopkins, McCauley going to be the top three that make it in. So a tight battle there for that third position. But it's going to go to Regan McCauley. Danny Vitch going to have to watch and tune in here on VidaneTV. And man, oh man, there's multiple spots to watch as Kyle Martin gets himself a consolation race win. And 60 seconds on the clock. Going to give these guys an opportunity to listen to the final drivers meeting from Tim Terry and the administration team and make sure all the final rules are out there. And we're going to put 45 minutes on the clock, and whoever's out front at the end of it, well, we're going to call them the winner. Be sure to tune in all over the place. We're taking over the internet slowly here as well. And, Sam King jumping on in says Ashton Reiki is one hell of an admin. He absolutely is, because he's wearing multiple hats. He's doing the admin thing from the inside of the car. And speaking of a hell of an admin, Tim Terry joining us in the production truck.
Listen, his head is big enough anyway. You don't need to put a hat on it.
Well, we have hats?
Yeah, apparently. Sorry for earlier. I was in the middle of getting something done there, but... for my racing journey tonight, I have to blame spotter Nicholas Noggle. Nick told me they were wrecking, and I saw them wreck, and he didn't tell me there wasn't a yellow, so we kind of pulled our foot out of it, and then we made sure Ashton wasn't finishing the race either. So, fun evening so far. Quick heats, quick consies. Now we're going to go into a 45-lap main. 21 cars. Lots of good cars in there. There's some people that are a little bit upset, a little bit bent out of shape after the heats, but... We'll settle in, and hopefully these guys and gals can get some green flag running in.
That'll happen in big-time sim race. And make sure on Ashton's way back up here, I want a pulled pork sandwich from the Stafford, the food court down here.
Let me see what I can do.
Appreciate that, Tim. 45 minutes on the docket here tonight. That lap counter is incorrect. Let me see if we can change that on over to time. As a matter of fact, there we go. That's going to reset to 45 minutes once we take the green flag here at Stafford Motor Speedway, and we'll take a peek at that starting lineup while we wait for Ashton to get here from the snack booth. And when you do get to Stafford Motor Speedway, you got to have the pulled pork. Fantastic. How about it? Brandon Wilkinson in the 9 car next to him. I believe still the points leader here in the Winter Series. Colton Everingham going to start on row number 1. Tanton Woldridge and Gilfort. We're going to figure out how to say Mr. Fort's first name here at some point, probably by the end of the season. Sam King tuning in from the inside of the car. Great to see. You love to see it, letting the fans know what's going on from that 5th position. Caden Tufts going to start 6th. Tyler DiVincenzo going to roll off P7. Dylan Black, Chris Roma, and Carson Nagy going to be the top 10. Brianna Weigel, great start for the 11 ride, starting P11. There you go. Ryan Libby in the 46 car making the show. He's going to roll off P12 and boop, turn the page. There you see it. Brandon Campbell, Lucas Leone, Kyle Martin, Brett Suggs, James Pileski, Mike Hopkins, Dave Roberts, Brandon Newhouse, and Regan McCauley going to make the show here tonight. And Ashton kicks down the door. Did you get my pulled pork?
I did. Here is your pulled pork sandwich and your adult beverage.
Adult beverages. The double hooked IPAs that they've got here at Stafford Motor Speedway are highly recommended. When you do come down, not if, when you do come down to hang out at Stafford Motor Speedway at some point, we'll have to get a couple of double hooks.
Yes, absolutely. We will most definitely make that for sure.
Green flag getting ready to drop. We're feature racing here. Big show time here tonight. And we'll talk about how these cars handle here once we get it all sorted out. The front 2 drivers breaking away just a little bit. They're going to go single file as the battle is side by side for 3rd.
Yeah, side by side for 3rd and single file for a couple of cars and then double file again. It's a great track, a very tricky track to get a hold of. I didn't get many practice laps in and then sent myself out there. So certainly a fun track. You can use the apron, you can use the second lane. So it makes it very interesting out there. We should see a solid 45 minutes.
For sure, and 60 seconds already gone and away here. Brandon Wilkinson holding on to the lead. Looks like the front 3-4 drivers have it all sorted out. Single file here, and tuning in. If you're tuning in, thank you for joining us here on a Tuesday night. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., Ashton Reiki up here in the booth here as well. Little Wingnut Productions, late model stock racing. The 45-minute Stafford Speedway Scramble, and a little bit different to kind of kick things off here, Ashton, as we start the new year off with racing here in the virtual Northeast. And we're not counting laps. We're taking a peek at the stopwatch.
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly plays into the strategy also, Paul. It's something different, something that I hadn't run in before. I know Tim runs this often, and he threw it at me, and he said, we should try it come the new year. And I said, why not make it the first race and throw a curveball to everybody? So any kind of strategies that you see out there, kind of out the window here, because you don't know when that time is going to elapse, and you really don't know what the other drivers are thinking at the same time.
And it's one of those deals, too, where we saw it in the heat races as you look at the the timing pylon, we had it a little bit cattywampus just a little bit. So a lot of these drivers expecting to run 15 laps, but unfortunately with those cautions in that timer on those heat races and consolation races, you run out of time before you run out of laps. So had to get up there in the top 3. Some of the drivers were able to make it, and you can see this is the payoff. They're running the big show here tonight, the Stafford Speedway Time Attack, Stafford Speedway Scramble. We haven't really quite come up with an official name for the first race here of the season. Still a little bit cloudy. Still trying to shake the cobwebs off. We were off with iRacing last week. We had the one show on Wednesday night with the Turn 4 podcast Winter Series, but that was over on Pit Row TV. Got to give a shout out to AC4, Mr. Cardinale, jumping on in and producing the show. And Ashton, it was the first time I actually got to call a race from a hotel room, and I can tell you I was so close to Daytona International Speedway that I could hear the jet dryers going off from the hotel room. So that right there was an experience for sure.
Yeah, that would have been super cool. I mean, anytime you get to announce a race with some of the bigger names like you did there with Pit Row TV and all the other guys, it's always fun. I mean, I got to do it up in New Hampshire. That was a lot of fun. So it's certainly interesting when you can hear jet dryers and you're announcing a race at the same time. You mentioned, the guys that didn't make it into the show. One of those guys that just ran out of time has also joined us up here in the booth. It's Nicholas Noggle, pro stock driver here in the Maritimes, and trying to get it done in the sim rig, but didn't get it done tonight. Nick, what are you thinking?
Oh, I'm just enjoying the night. Jumped on here a little late. Maybe misjudged qualifying time, didn't put down a lap, but I'm just having a good time hanging out.
I'm pretty sure you were trying to put a paint scheme together.
Yeah, it was between trying to jam paint scheme together real quick, and then nature called. I went and took a leak, and then it's like, oh yeah, I have 2 minutes to qualify, and I got in and made it into turn 1, and it shut off. So,
well, at least you can join us up here in the booth. I brought Paul up a pulled pork sandwich. I didn't bring you one, so you'll have to go down and get one on your own. But the racing is getting better out there. We're already 5 minutes into the race, and what's your perspective of the track out there? What do you think is going to come around, and what do you think is the right strategy?
who knows with this? I mean, we could say it's survival, but I mean, the track's it's a fast track, but it's tight. So boys are going to start burning the right fronts off these things, and it's not like the Super. You can't give it a little shot to get it turned. So we'll see what happens. I figure give it another 10 minutes, and you're going to start seeing boys bouncing the right fronts off on exit. So.
There you go, Paul. So that's another perspective. He's got a lot more knowledge in a rail car than I will ever have. So it's nice to have him up in the booth here. We'll keep him up here. And as we get down to the 40th, Mark Wilkinson, Everingham, Wildridge, King, and DiVincenzo, all your top five.
Yeah, tight racing here at Stafford Motor Speedway in the virtual iRacing version of the track. One of the first tracks to get scanned into the iRacing service. So we're hoping for an update soon. And we might try and take a page out of Steve Lavender's book and see if we can get maybe a banner before they get scanned. See if we can get a VidaneTV banner. We might even have a GoFundMe to set that up, because I think that'd be kind of neat to have a VidaneTV banner in iRacing. But in any sense, single file racing up in the top four. You made mention the top five, kind of pulling away just a little bit, about a little less than 40 minutes to go here at Stafford. And talked about it during the heat races here, Ashton. This is a very unique racetrack. It used to be a dirt horse racing track way on back in the day before Jack Arute bought the track and turned it into the motorsports kingdom that it is. And when they went to go from dirt to pavement, when they paved this racetrack, somebody actually moved the stakes over in turn 4 in about 10 feet. So turns 3 and 4, they're a little bit more narrow than turns 1 and 2. You're a little bit more wide open in 1 and 2. The car floats a little bit better, but you really got to crank on it there in 3 and 4. It's just one of those trivia tidbits here at Stafford Speedway.
Was that done on purpose? Like, did somebody actually play a practical joke, and that's how, or did they actually want to do that?
That's so. From what I understand, is it was just somebody disgruntled on the crew. They knocked the stick over and they said, "Hey, you know what? I'm just going to move it over here."
Gotcha.
Whether or not that's true, I'm not sure. I wasn't there, so.
I figured you would have been there way back in the day.
Now we're taking shots at my age. That's great. I had a lot of that hanging out with some of the young pups with the Pit Row TV, and I heard you make the mistake because you copied me. It was Pit Stop TV we were on last Wednesday night with Cardinale, because I was working for Pit Row TV with Tony Stevens
right.
for Cart Week. So I made the mistake. I've been making that mistake all week long. We'll get it sorted out. Like I mentioned, we're a little bit foggy. It was an adventurous week for sure.
You also just flew back home, what, this morning?
Last night, late last night, we were able to, we got back probably about 11 o'clock. We got on the plane in Daytona International Airport, not Speedway. They don't land the planes there. But it was 70 degrees. And we landed in Connecticut. It was 70 degrees Celsius? Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what that is in Celsius. It was cold. Oh, trouble.
Don't mean to interrupt you guys, but the 97 and the 13 are going at it here.
No, that's perfect. See, we get lost in the conversation, so this is having the third person watching the race. That's perfect. You can keep us on track. So 97, I think you said, it was getting involved with the 13, so they got it sorted out. They're back straight, but seem to have stacked up the field behind them. It should make things a little more interesting. A little bit of damage to the front of the 97 also.
Yeah, that's that contact there, and you can tell that's how these drivers. That's how we know the drivers are paying along. They see Strickland, Showtime's out in left field. Hey, here's a little bit of beating and banging. Oh, that's right. We got to focus on the task at hand. We're racing at Stafford Speedway, and that's what's on the docket here tonight. 37 minutes to go here in the Scramble. We'll take a look. We'll go through the field a little bit because Wilkinson, Everingham, and Wooldridge kind of pulled away just a little bit. Sam King is that fourth car in line up top. We're taking a look at DiVincenzo and Fortin here, nose to tail for fifth and sixth. A little further on back is Caden Tufts in that double lot. Chris Roma there as well. We made mention. And Ashton, you'll appreciate this as well. Monday nights, we ink the deal. RBR Season 7. They're going to be racing here on Monday nights on VidaneTV starting here in a couple of weeks. Carson Nagy holding on to 9th, and Dylan Black holding on to that 10th spot. But for how long? There's a little bit of calamity heating up in behind.
Yeah, absolutely. See the pressure coming on from behind the guys. Nick mentioned earlier the right front. You see a lot of cars having that right front fender a little pushed in. So that could be that wear on that right front tire. They're pushing up for the wall. They're getting it loose coming off. I see a little bit of sliding, a little bit of tail slapping coming off the corners also. So 36 minutes to go, and cars are already starting to have a little bit of trouble as the 46 is out and around. We're still green, single car to the inside. So
13
generally,
and the 97 are back at it as well.
13 and the 97. Look at that. See, Nick's on top of this. So Nick needs to not qualify for any more races and just come and help us out. He's not going to agree with that.
We have those days in the production trailer as well. But great to have you up here. Awesome to have an extra set of eyes as the action intense all the way around this track. And Nick, we'll ask the question. Different style to kick off the year here. We're looking usually we look for a lap counter at this point. But when you look down and you see a stopwatch, how does that affect your strategy getting into this one?
I mean, it's definitely weird because with the timer, you're not worried about laps. So I mean, cautions don't really play as much of a fact. It's just a timed race, and you're trying to save your gear as long as you can. But I mean, at least with a normal amount of laps, you know you're gonna put 200 laps of wear on your tires. Here, they could put 50 and then have a bunch of cautions and be fresh to go. So who knows what's gonna happen.
The 97 car still doing battle, but this time with the Roma machine. Check that, with the Caden Tufts machine. Nope, just kidding. That's going to be with the what am I looking at here? The 83 car.
You're right.
Yeah, I was right. The Roma machine. Sliding back just a little bit. Still foggy. It's January 2nd. You got to cut me a little bit of a break here.
Yeah, he got caught up on the outside there, and I don't think, again, my broken record, I don't think is going to work at this track. I don't think the outside is one of those lines that comes in on this track, so he got caught up on the outside there, and a little bit of a freight train back again, slides up to the outside, lets the 93 car of Nagy through, and I know they're probably in the same Discord talking to each other, so maybe some strategy play there, knowing that he's got a little bit of damage to the front end. Let the 93 go, see if he can chase down those top 10 cars.
Yeah, quick onboard shot there with DiVincenzo. You can see that car is tight with that right front damage, having to feather the throttle, but you can see Dylan Black now all over the back bumper in that 08 car. He's looking high, looking low, looking high once again, trying to get a little bit of air on the front of that car. He might take a shot at him here, getting into the corner, not quite. Going to be in the tire tracks for at least another corner and see if he can get something happening there in 1 and 2 where there's just a little bit more room. You can see the 97 up scraping the wall once again, but just barely. And this time, that actually opens the door for Pileski, who's going to take a shot, take a peek down low on Dylan Black in the 08 car. So these guys racing for position all over the racetrack.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I know Tim and I talked about it before, that if you push it too hard, you use up that equipment, and you're not going to have much left halfway through the race. And I'm wondering if that's playing into this to this race early on with the 97, with how quick he's dropping back.
Pileski for the win, just taking a peek at some of the YouTube comments. Oh, Dylan Black around. Caution flag. We'll get back to you, Mark.
The 93 was, I believe, of Pileski, the 193 into the back of Black. So you can go back and grab that for the, I believe we're still on the U-House Designs replay, are we not?
Yeah, the New Year, same instant replay sponsor, U-House Racing Design, signing on here with us for VidaneTV for the 2024 year. So we'll back that up as we do here on VidaneTV. We'll take a look at the blimp cam, or the drone cam, as it were, and being able to work with guys like Ian Plash that do the drone shots in real life is pretty cool. It kind of makes you appreciate it here in iRacing. But there you see Dylan Black down on the apron just a little bit. The 93 of Pileski gives him a shot in the short, sends him on around, and that's going to spill the sprinkles down there in the grass area there. He grabs the gear, gets going once again. So could have been a whole lot worse. Could have been a whole lot better. And this is interesting, Ashton. We got a couple of drivers coming down pit road here. Lucas Leon, Kyle Martin, Brett Suggs, James Pileski, and Brianna Weigel all down on pit road to get some service. Is this something that you think these guys might have had scheduled?
I'm going to say it was probably not scheduled, but certainly a strategy move at this point now. Only 15 minutes in, still 31 minutes to go. By the time they come back green, we'll probably be at the 30-minute mark. Possibly too early. I didn't really see how many sets of tires they were allotted for this race. I believe it was 2 sets, and I'm thinking that could be a little too early. Again, unless, like Nick was saying earlier, unless it's caution filled from here on out, it's tough to say whether to come now or to hope for one late. But if you don't get one late, then you're at the back of the pack.
I'm just curious on fuel, how these cars are holding up. I mean, is this going to be a one-stop race or a two-stop race? And if you take your fuel now, you might be able to take a little less come late in the race and get a little bit of an edge when the rest of the field comes through.
Yeah, absolutely. I just heard Tim come up over the iRacing radio and said you only have 1 set in the pits. So if any of those guys took tires, that's it. That's what they got, and that's what they're going to have to hold for the next 30 minutes. That's a long time on those tires.
And how do you plan for that? We have 30 minutes of racing, and that could be anywhere from 10 laps to 100 laps here at Stafford Motor Speedway. So you don't really know what you're getting into for the end of the show here. We're going to cross that stripe right at that 30-minute even to go mark. Racing once again, though, Wilkinson and Everingham taking on off into turn number 1.
Yeah, they get it sorted out in the front too, but the fight for third is still there with Woolridge and the 7 car. It looked like the 48 was sideways off the corner. Woolridge into the back of him. Again, still sorting it out. They are 2 by 2 by 2 from third on back.
Oh, we got a wreck coming across start finish.
Oh, big wreck. Big wreck.
Huge wreck on the front
Trouble.
straightaway. I knew you were trouble. Turn 1. Little Taylor Swift, Larry Mack mashup. How's that to kick off your 2024? We'll back up U-House Racing Designs instant replay and take a peek at that. And that's another thing that you have to kind of plan for here at this point. You don't really know when you need to make your move here with these time attack races, and it's kind of tough to plan for that because a lot of times, or most of the times, you'll have that lap counter and be able to see exactly what the deal is. We'll take a look once again from the drone cam here, right off the restart. There you see Roma's around and everybody in behind. The 1 car does a good job, almost did a good job. Got turned around there, and a lot of cars involved. There's Weigel getting down underneath, down on the apron. The 33 car, I believe, squeaks on by, and lots of damage for a handful of cars back from mid-pack on back.
Yeah, and I mean that comes down to the guys that pit. So the one car was just on pit road. Had he not pit, he would have not been in that situation. Tough luck for him. Again, you see Brandon Campbell there, nowhere to go. The 93 stopping in front of him to try and avoid, and he sends the 93 for a ride. That's tough for the 93 of Nagy, and tough for the 99 of Brandon Campbell too.
Yeah, there you can see the 93 car lands back on the windshield of the 99 car, so that's a tough spot. And there you can see the onboard shot from BC 99 down there on pit road. Might be done for the evening. A couple of other cars down there as well. Dave Roberts, Chris Roma, Lucas Leon, all on pit road. Ryan Libby out of this one about 20 laps ago. So a little bit of a war of attrition here at this point, and I don't know if we can blame the timer on that one, because we do still have a bit of time left to go here. But with these drivers, we could take a peek. The best lap times, you'll be able to take a peek at their screen. They're running 19.7s, 19.8s, a couple of 19.9s a little bit further on back. Ashton, what kind of lap times were you running here?
I believe at one point I ran a 19.9. I believe I ran a 19.7 in qualifying, and I don't know how I did it.
Tough to get around this Stafford Motor Speedway half-mile, almost flat banking here, and it's about time for a new scan here with the iRacing service, because we got some cool stuff added into this place. We got the new big screen TV there in the infield. We've got a safer barrier now. And oh, by the way, we've got that Freedom Factory burnout pad, because Cletus McFarland's coming up to hang out with us this summer at Stafford Speedway. Hell yeah, brother. Green Flag Racing once again. The front two, they got it sorted out for about a half a straightaway, but Evernham's hungry. He wants to get that 48 car up to the point.
Oh, we're wrecking behind again.
You heard the big smash, and Mike Hopkins involved in this one. We got the stat from earlier. Mark Creighton letting us know that, man, Hopkins is a lap leader here in real life at Stafford Motor Speedway. Lots of wins, lots of laps at Stafford Speedway, and I think all of the divisions. Longtime racer up here in the Northeast. He'll be racing again Thursday night. We're not going anywhere. I just hit the wrong button, so we'll bring that back up. We're going to get the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. We're not going to get the closing graphic there. We'll get that sorted out. We're foggy, folks. The New Year's Eve was rough. But we'll take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay once again here. We actually just woke up from a nap before we took green. There's the 3 car, gets a shot from the back, and the 45 car looks like he gets a shot from the back as well. So we're going to back that up, take a look at that from the drone camera, because there's a bit of calamity there. You can see the 93. Looks like he got in there just a little too hot to trot on the restart, as well as the 45. But we'll take a peek there. You see they cross the stripe. They head on into 1. The 3 backs up just a little bit. And 45 looks like he sends it a couple of times. And, well, I guess we'll let the fans sort that one out.
Yeah, that was tough. That was 2 incidents at the exact same time. As a race director, I don't know which one brought the yellow out, but I'm going to say both of them were almost spinning at the exact same time, so you got to throw that yellow. And again, a couple cars that were on pit road that wouldn't necessarily be in that situation if they had not pit. So that's a strategy play. We're into that yellow. They have a saying about yellow causes more yellows, and it seems to be that case when you stack these cars up.
You can see it looks like the 99 car of Campbell going to get the wave around here, going to rejoin, going to get one of his laps back. A couple laps down there for the 99. Looks like 14 cars going to be on the lead lap for this one as we get ready to line them back up once again. Less than 25 minutes to go here tonight in the 45-minute Stafford Speedway Scramble. Got to let everybody know we're taking over the internet. We're all over the place. We're on Facebook for Tim's Corner Motorsports and VidaneTV. We're on the YouTube page, and we're taking that green flag. And Wilkinson taking that shot early down on the bottom side. He's going to use that apron to get that car up into that front spot. Colton Evernham going to top into the tire tracks. Top 3 sorted out. Woldridge there in the 28 car. The 13 trying to get it sorted out and get single file. But man, oh man, that's Sam Kingride making that middle groove work just a little bit. He's going to slide on down to the bottom. Now it's Caden Tufts on the high side trying to make that work. Gets up into the outside wall, scrapes it just a little bit. Looks like it might have cost him a little bit of momentum as he's dropping back on the high side.
Yeah, a car that I'm seeing now coming back down around the bottom is the 97 of DiVincenzo. It cooled down the tires and maybe got them back under him a little bit. He's still a little sideways off the corner, but certainly coming back up into the top 5. So maybe it was just a case of needing a caution and making some adjustments.
Well, yesterday was a holiday, so it might have been a case of the Mondays too, because it's Tuesday. It's the first official day of the week. I think that's how that works. I'm not entirely sure. But Wilkinson up into the front. He kisses the outside wall. He lets the wall know that he's there. Colton Evernham right on his back bumper, just 0.2 of a second, about a car width, length rather, as trouble.
The 00 is getting into it a little bit, getting a little aggressive. Time to go, I guess.
Yeah, Caden Tuff's trying to make that outside line work. He's going to try and get around Nagy in that 93 car on the bottom side. And Ashton is a high side. I think it might be trying to come in here once we get some heat in it.
It's not working.
I mean, it might. You gotta make a little bit of drama.
Oh, I tried to, but I honestly tried it in practice, and not once did it work. It feels good up there because the car it rolls the top nicely, but you lose so much momentum up there that you just get driven by on the bottom. So there is the apron. The apron I found out started helping the car turn when I was running in the Consi, and that one lane up, which would technically be the lower lane. Other than that, I don't think there's a high side on this track, so passing becomes very difficult. You have to use the bumper, and sometimes that can cause problems.
Absolutely. You can see all the way around this racetrack. That yellow line's a little bit further on down. That apron is absolutely a part of the racetrack here in the 7 car of Sam King, utilizing every inch of it. We got to see if we can get an onboard shot there with the 7 car. Beautiful gyro shot, and that shows you a little bit of banking here in turns 1 and 2. And he's sticking those left side tires down underneath on that apron. And you can see it's a little bit further on left as he bounces it off the chip. That yellow line is way the heck over there. Out of bounds is down by the grass. There you see the 00 backing up just a little bit, I believe. Nope, that might have been the Roma machine as we look through the windshield on Sam King. And this is how you do it at Stafford Speedway. You got to use that apron to de-wedge the car, get it to turn in these corners, and you can hear him just getting into the back straightaway, heading into 3.
Yeah, and you can see very little wheel input on that. You watch his hands as he comes through the corner. Very little wheel input, so he's getting that car to rotate just by, like you said, de-wedging the car. A little bit of right coming out of the corner, keep her straight, and get on the throttle.
That's how you get around this place. Little bumper car action, it looks like, for 3rd and 4th. Sam King going to get a shot from Fortin in the 13. The top 5, there you see a big gap between 5th and 6th. Brett Suggs moving his way on up. He's gained himself 10 spots in that 33 car, trying to get into the top 10, just barely on the outside looking in. Is Sam King going to move up to the high side and try and make a little magic happen there? Nope, that's the 28 car moving up to the high side.
Yeah, the 7 car, I believe, got under him, and yeah, he's under him now, making the pass there. So that was just a domino effect. I think the 13 was pushing the 7, and the 7 finally decided it was time to go and moved him up the track, gave him the lane, and now he's going to work his magic, hopefully, on the 48 and take over 2nd.
And we'll ask you, Nick, because you've got a lot more laps than both Ashton and myself combined here. When you've got a battle going on in front of you, you've got a battle in behind, and you've got your own battle, what do you concentrate on at that point? How do you take a look through the windshield, the rear view, and to the left and right side of you all at the same time? How does a driver do that?
I think we lost Nick.
Oh, we might have. Nick, he must have gone and got a pulled pork sandwich. I hope he gets me one, too.
I mean, I did tell him I forgot to bring him one, so he should be down there getting us a pulled pork sandwich and an adult beverage.
Absolutely, it's about that
over
time.
Over here snacked and wasn't paying attention.
Oh, there he goes.
He did get the pulled pork sandwich. It looked like we had a white car with some big-time damage. We're still green flag racing, and we're almost 4 wide here for the second place position. Wilkinson looking in the rearview mirror. He's got about 9/10, almost a full second lead over this calamity. Sam King there in second, the 13 of Fortin there in third. Wooldridge and Evernham side by side, and we've seen that battle multiple times here with these Tim's Corner Motorsports events. And the 48 car down on the bottom side of the track trying to hold on. Oh, big time wiggle for the 48. Little bit of contact with Wooldridge, but he holds on to it and showing why that 48 car is so high up in the points. That was a big save for the 48.
Yeah, and hats off to him for not taking the 28 down with him, right? Like he easily could have gotten to the back of the 28 and just called it quits and taken them both out. But great job. Now he's back straight, holding the position, and we're past halfway, and I think it's go time. I think that's why you're seeing Sam King and Fortin and Woldridge. They're all kind of it's time to go. Now's the time, and they're starting to make their moves.
Yeah, I'm thinking all these boys that went for tires earlier are definitely praying not to have another caution, and it's starting to work out to their favor.
Hey, I believe Brett Suggs was one of the ones on pit road, and he, like you said, he's up 10 spots, made his way up into the top 5, and I don't believe Wilkins or Everingham took tires, so Everingham's already starting to fall back. Wilkins has kind of controlled most of the race, so he might have been saving being in the first position all day.
Yeah, you can see right there the top 5 have been out for 70 laps on that set of tires, have not come down pit road. Brett Suggs came down 33 laps ago. How about that for the 33? And he is in 6th. Nagy and Tufts on the original set of tires and fuel as well. Pileski and Black, they came down on that caution 32, 33 laps ago. So a little bit of mixed strategy up in the top 10. Top 5 guys still on the same original set of tires, and it starts to talk about fuel at this point. We've run 70 laps. How much longer can these guys run, and do you risk coming down under green flag?
I mean, if you're running out of fuel, you don't really have much of an option.
I mean, that's a fact. Yeah, that's accurate.
You can't run it on hopes and dreams.
That's a fact. We've tried. I've tried running a race car on hopes and dreams, and I'll tell you right now, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Paul, I'm going to bring that back, Nick, there for that question that you were saying. You know, with the battle in front of you and behind you, so much going on. What do you concentrate on when you're in a tight spot like this?
I mean, the only thing you just got to keep hitting your marks and doing the best you can. At this point, you're truly racing your own race, so it's no good focusing on if the guy ahead of you's losing or gaining or what the deal is. Just keep hitting your marks and getting all you can out of the car, because who knows what everyone has for tires at this moment, how the fuel load's burnt off. I mean, everyone's close, but in this game, close isn't good enough, so.
Yeah, is the spotter giving you any other information, or is he just, for you, I guess every spotter's different, every driver's different, but for you, is he just telling you your times, or is he kind of giving you something of what the guy's doing behind you, or maybe in front of you?
I mean, that's always spotter preference. If you're gaining on the guy in front of you, he's usually reading off both lap times and making you feel good. But if you're losing, I don't think I want to hear that the guy in front of me is going that much faster.
So that's when you unplug it.
Yeah, that's when you stop worrying about what they're saying. We got a good battle going on here with the 00 car, sticking it on the inside.
Yeah, you made that apron work on the 93. Something that I was saying earlier, that the apron was helping the car rotate, but the 93 is going to cross over. What a crossover move down to the inside. Is he going to make it stick off the corner? They're going to be too wide on board with Nagy. That's a handful of car as Everingham washes up the track and Nagy gets underneath them. They're going to be 2 or 3 wide coming off that corner.
Just being able to see these guys from the windshield and how hard these guys are driving these sim rigs around this virtual Stafford Motor Speedway, it'll make you sweat. The 48 car trying to throw a little bit of a block there on Nagy, but not quite enough room there. Caden Tufts tries to take a peek down in the middle. He goes down to the bottom of the racetrack, gets a little bit loosey-goosey, thinks better of it. Oh, he gets to the back of the 48 car, sends Everingham around, tries to straighten him back out. They get it sorted out, but we're still going to throw the caution flag and get everybody re-racked and restacked. That could have been a whole lot worse, but it could have been a whole lot better, Ashton.
Yeah, that could have been really crazy. I think what happened there was just good hard racing. I think the 48, the right front, a little burnt up, so he's got to get on the brakes a little earlier, and Tufts just kind of got into the back of him. It was a great save. I think Tufts did the right job by checking up, and yeah, he got into his front end there, may have bent something up a little, but he straightened him out pretty good.
The real question now is, do you take tires? Do you take fuel? How important is track position? Do you have enough left? Like, so many things are coming into account now.
Yeah, I didn't see the clock. So 13:58, pit road is busy. The 56, the 48, the 28. That is a long list of cars on pit road, so that's not really going to shake much up. If you come out onto the track and as the first one off pit road, I think you're only going to be in the 10th or 9th position, something like that. So that's not much of a loss, and you still got time to make up.
Yeah, it looks like all of the lead lap cars came down pit road there. A couple of drivers stayed out to maybe get themselves a lap lead or two. Saw a lot of cars jacked up in the air. A lot of drivers taking 2 tires on the right side. Couple of drivers taking 4 tires here in this one, and that's going to be huge because you've been on the same set of tires for a half hour. We'll take a look at the pit road stint length here. What are we looking at? We're looking at 81 laps here so far in this one, and that's a lot of laps on a set of tires. So getting that fresh rubber with 12 minutes, we'll probably get the restart here with 11 and a half, 12 minutes or so to go. That's going to make a lot of these drivers feel like Superman with that fresh rubber.
Yeah, you still got to take care of them for, I'm going to say, till at least the 6-minute mark before you really let them loose. You don't want to beat up on that right front too quickly. From earlier on in the race, we had 3 or 4 cautions back to back, so at the same time, you got to make your move quickly.
Indeed, you do. Still lights on the top of the iRacing pace car, and Dylan Black up front. Brianna Weigel in the 11 car going to be the free pass car, going to rejoin the lead lap. Going to give us 16 drivers still on the lead lap here at this point. Dave Rogers there in second, Brandon Wilkinson in third, Brett Suggs and Gil Fortin in the top 5. Carson Nagy, Tanton Woldridge, Colton Everingham, Caden Tufts, and James Pileski up in the top 10. And fellas, the first race of the year, getting the action in here at Stafford Motor Speedway. We're live all over the place. We're on Facebook for Tim's Corner Motorsports, VidaneTV. We're over on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We are on Twitter. We're trying to get going on TikTok, but for right now, we got to get ourselves lined up with some followers before we can go live. So we're going to be getting some highlight packages over there, some shorts, some reels, and some content, because that's what we've been missing here at VidaneTV. And be sure to find all the social media outlets for all that jazz. Green flag flying, 11 and a half minutes to go here, and Dylan Black gets the whole shot. He's going to pull away by about 3-4 car lengths.
Yeah, great restart by the 08 on the outside of Dylan Black. 56 was usually, controlling those restarts, but Black got the dump. They're sideways. They're 3 wide at the back. 3 wide into 3 and 4. They're going to sort it out. They're going to come out of that corner somehow all in one piece.
Are they going to sort it out? They're still 3 wide as they get on down around once again, all the way down on the apron for the 97 car. DiVincenzo trying to move his way back up into the top 10, just on the outside, looking in there in 11th position. They're going to sort it out for the time being. They look down at the stopwatch. They see they've got 10 and a half to go. So they're going to try and hold off for just a little bit, but a driver that's not holding off is the 33 ride of Brett Suggs, biggest mover of the night, up 14 spots. He's in second. He's got his sights set on the back bumper of our leader, Brandon Wilkinson. Does he have enough time to get there? Does he have enough time to get around him?
I don't think he has enough tires is the biggest problem.
Did he not come down pit road on that last yellow?
He came early.
He came early, so he took tires early. I think it was fuel only this last stop for the 33 car. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. New colors for the 33 car. Always cool to see what Brett Suggs is coming to the racetrack, the virtual racetrack, with the different paint schemes. We'll have to ask him about that one once, if he does end up on the podium as he does here. A little side-by-side action further back for 5th. Dylan Black, James Pileski doing battle.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're side-by-side. Dylan Black got caught up on the outside. I don't know what shot him out to the outside in 3 and 4 at one point a few laps ago, and since then he has been freight trained on the high side. Again, I don't think he was down pit road earlier on in that last caution, so I think it could be a tire issue like Nick mentioned earlier. The guys that pit early on and took tires, how much did they save, and do they have anything left? He has got a handful of that car going through the corner.
You're looking at those same bright white gloves that I am, and it's awesome to see that here in the iRacing world and the real racing world. Oh no, trouble! You can see hard around and almost tips on over. Hoo-hoo-hoo! That's how we do it live here at VidaneTV. That's how you do a commentator's curse, Ashton.
Yeah, I was just gonna say maybe we erase that from the replays, because if Dylan Black goes back and looks, he might be blaming us for this one.
Yeah, you can see struggling with the handling just a little bit, kind of drifting up the track a bit in that '08 car for Dylan Black. And just making mention of those white gloves, it's awesome to see. In sim racing and real racing, you can look through the windshield and just see how hard these drivers are sawing on that wheel. And you can see just running out of real estate. The 97 car, nowhere to go, gets a piece of the action. Unfortunately, not able to hold on to it. That's a big nose hit for the 97 car. One of the quick cars here, DiVincenzo having some trouble with the motor. Probably going to come down pit road and see if there's something they can do with that machine. Maybe get her taped up. Dylan Black, some damage there as well. And with less than 10 minutes to go, you really don't have time, Ashton, to work on these things. You got to get out there and see what you can get.
Exactly, and I think the beneficiary on that one's again going to be Brianna Weigel as she comes around the outside to get her lap back. So that will put her on the lead lap. She was 2 laps down. But to me, that there for Dylan Black, as much as he's involved, I don't think he hit anything. So he was able to minimize the damage on something that could have been a lot worse. Not that it's going to help the tires in any way, because he still doesn't have another set on pit road, but maybe he can gather it up and get himself to the bottom and at least get himself into the rhythm for the last 7 minutes when we go green.
And a fun fact, Mark Creighton tuning in on YouTube, giving us the tidbits of information. The original scan of Stafford Speedway actually had a misspelled banner around the racetrack. It was the weekly Al American Series. I don't know anybody named Al that races at the racetrack.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. It might have been Crew Chief Uncle Al. We've talked to Crew Chief Uncle Al a couple of times here on VidaneTV. Probably gonna go play some Modern Warfare after this with Crew Chief Uncle Al and John Adams as well. We'll see what happens. We might pull out the bass guitar and throw some Rocksmith over on Twitch. We'll see what happens. But the light's still on here on top of the pace car. And again, got to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. The first race of the season. Little bit foggy. It's been a long week. Just got off the airplane from Daytona last night, working kart week with the Pit Road TV crowd, learning a lot, doing a lot of networking, and really able to have a good time down there at Daytona. The cold is not very welcome though. May mention we got back and there was frost on the truck, and there's a foot of snow in the forecast for this weekend, so not too excited about that, but very excited for the future. Lots of cool stuff coming up on the docket here at VidaneTV with sim racing, with real racing, potentially with some softball, something quarter midgets, something fantasy football. Lots of stuff in the works here, penciled in, and be sure to tune in on all the social media outlets. 6 minutes to go here, Ashton. Green flag racing once again. Wilkinson gets the shot. Suggs wants it. He's got his tires set on the back bumper of that 56 car.
Yeah, he's got to watch behind him, the 013 of Fortin in the bottom there, in the bottom groove there, so he can't leave that door open for too long. He seems to be arcing the corner a little different than the 013 is doing. And then right behind him is Woolridge. And it looks like Nagy sneaking in to the top 5 there with King on the bottom. So that's a good battle as they are too wide back there. The 07 is going to sneak around the bottom and get past the 93 of Nagy. So they're single file in the top 5 with 5 minutes to go, going on to 5 minutes.
Yeah, looking at the driver door on that 93 Nagy machine, you can see the sticker, the number, a little cattywampus, a little sideways. It almost looks like the number 6 car, as I actually put the VidaneTV logo on the number 6 street stock, and it was a little bit crooked. It looks like we got some trouble in the back. No, just hard racing, 3 wide, a little bit of calamity, bumper to bumper, door to door. How did they hold on to that? We're still 3 wide. We're still beating and banging. We're still trying to take each other out. Less than 5 minutes to go, Ashton. Things are heating up in a hurry.
Yeah, they are, and I think it's one of those last-minute deals, and nobody's got tires left in this last 5 minutes. So using 8 tires going through the corner might be better than just the 4 as they're sideways again. They're saving it. No, he's around. The 45's around off the nose of the 97.
Yellow, 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 yellow. 45 car are around once again. This is going to be a tight battle between these drivers and the clock. Less than 5 minutes to go, less than 4 minutes to go. As a matter of fact, 4:20 left to go in this one. We'll pop up the U-House Racing Design instant replay, and these guys were wrecking for about 4 laps, it seemed like. Hard racing once we hit that 5 minute on the clock, and just a tough piece of real estate, running out of room, running out of track, and they're going to get up and around. We'll take a peek at it from the drone cam. You can see Tufts down in the grass trying to get that thing to turn. Loses the momentum side by side. The 97 just up into the 45. They get it straightened out. The 97, though, overcorrects just a little bit. He goes high. The 45 goes low. And everybody able to get through for the most part. Couple of spots there. This Brianna Weagle getting woed up in time to get down and around. No harm, no foul for the 11 car, so that's good to see. Still on the lead lap there in the 11 as well, as they are rejoined with the back end of the field. And the lights are on. About 3 minutes to go. Did somebody say 3 minutes?
Yeah, three minutes is not a lot of time now, so I don't want to say there's going to be another yellow, but the feeling is there's going to be another yellow. So at this restart here, you need to get on your horse and you need to go. Brett Suggs starting on the outside of Wilkinson, who's been dialed in on the restarts. He sets the pace. He sets the restart. You can see he dives down to the apron and just gets the car shot out of a cannon. If the 13 can stay on his bumper, he might be able to get past Brett Suggs, but we know often that Brett Suggs is pretty quick, it seems, everywhere we go. So as they come around the corner, they are coming to green. Paul, this is just going to be calamity. We've already had a lot of it, and I think there's going to be a lot more.
A virtual high five from about 1,000 miles away. Got to get back on your horse here at the horse track. How about that, Nick?
Right? You like how I did that?
Green flag once again. Wilkinson gets the shot. He's got clear racing down to the bottom side. He's going to go all the way down to the bottom side. 2.25 minutes to go. The battle right now for second. Fortin going to move on up underneath Suggs. Suggs stuck on the high side. Does he have enough, Ashton, to get down and around him with 2 minutes to go in this one?
This is a position, as if you're Suggs, that you do not want to be in. If you are in that position, you almost want to let the 13 go and hope that there's a hole behind him, but there's not. Danton Woolridge right on the 13's bumper. Yellow's out again.
Yellow.
So we go back to the last lap. And if we go back to that last lap, I believe that puts Suggs in third. So if this is the case, that could have been a strategy moves on Suggs' part, because now he's going to start on the inside if we go to a restart.
And that's going to be monumental here with just seconds left on the clock. We'll take a quick peek here at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay once again. And that drone cam coming in handy here in at 3 and 4. There you see it, 3 wide. The 45 takes a peek down low, just barely gives a little tap to the 28 car. Everything good there. There is another piece of contact, and 28 car up across the nose and up into the outside fence. No safer barrier there yet. Got to get that scanned in from iRacing, but that's going to send the 28 car of Dave Roberts down to the garage area. 60 seconds on the clock. The lights are off. We're holy moly, Ashton. We're going green with less than 60 seconds to go here at Stafford Speedway.
Yeah, less than 60 seconds. And like I said, Brett Suggs came around as third, so that puts him back on the bottom. Same strategy as the 13 had now. The 13's probably thinking, well, I got a great jump. He's going to get a great jump. He's got to try and find a hole. The 13 thought about going down. You saw the wheel kind of go there, and he didn't risk it, so he's going to have to drag race him into 1 and 2. Try and make the top side work. It just doesn't stick up there. Cold tires or not, or hot tires, it just doesn't seem to have a lane. So Brett Suggs on the inside, he's working his way around. 15 seconds to go. This is going to be crazy for the second position. Wilkinson seems to have this in the bag, but I don't want to say that too quickly.
Yeah, we had the commentator's curse earlier on, and with Dylan Black as we were on board, but Wilkinson away by a half a second. The clock strikes 0. I believe with the iRacing rules, we're going to get the white flag, white rag. Indeed we do. The battle going to be for second. The 13 of Fortin up on the high side. Brett Suggs in the 33. Able to get down to the bottom side. Holy moly, 2-3 wide in behind. And that actually looks like we might have taken the checkered flag already. So Wilkinson going to come home with the victory. Fortin and Suggs going to round out the top 3. We'll talk to those drivers here momentarily. Sam King going to round out the 4th position. Tanton Woolridge going to finish in 5th.
That was a great finish. I thought we were coming to 1 to go when the clock strikes 0 there. I thought we got an extra lap, but nonetheless, great race by the top 3. Wilkinson, Forte, and Suggs, great racing by those guys. Great strategy play by Brett Suggs. He took tires there early on and made it work.
Absolutely. Carson Nagy finishing outside the top 5 there in 6th. Regan McCauley finishing in 7th. Caden Tufts, Colton Everingham, Kyle Martin going to round out the top 10. BC 99, Brandon Campbell going to finish in 11th. Great run for Brianna Weagle there in 12th. Dylan Black with trouble earlier on, going to run in the 13th position. DiVincenzo in the 97 car, fast all day. Not quite the finish they were looking for, coming home in 14th. Dave Roberts in 15th. James Pileski, another fast car, back there in the 16th position. Chris Roma, Mike Hopkins, 17th and 18th as we move on through the field. Brandon Newhouse, Lucas Leon, and Ryan Libby going to round out the 21-car field here for the 45-minute Stafford Speedway Speed Clock Scramble. Kicking things off a little bit differently here with the 2024 calendar year. And all in all, Ashton, that was a pretty good race.
Yeah, great race to start off the new year. We've had great racing in this series all year long. I know we were kind of hesitant in bringing this car in this year and trying it out, but it's been a lot of fun. And I'm glad I was to be a part of it. I haven't made a feature yet, but at least being a part of it, coming up here, hanging out with you, it's always a good time. And I think you've caught up down there with one of our top 3 drivers. Who do you got down there?
It was a second place finisher, Mr. Fortin, in that 13 car, up in the top 5. And I got to ask, how do you pronounce your first name?
Well, it's a French Canadian name, so you can just call me G or Guillaume if you can pronounce it right.
We're gonna go with G. I like that. G Fortin. That's a nickname that's gonna stick for sure. That's easy enough for me to remember. But G, man, great run here tonight, Stafford Speedway. We talked to a couple of drivers before the show here tonight, doing things a little bit differently to kick off the 2024 year here. We're doing the time attack. Usually you get into it, you know how many laps you've got to take care of the tires, you know how many laps are on the docket, but when you get in there, you've got 45 minutes, you're not sure what the cautions are going to bring to the table. How do you plan for that? How does that affect your strategy getting into this one?
Honestly, I had no clue how the race was gonna work because it's the first time that I do those kind of race. So the first half of the race, I kind of saved my tire and save a little bit of fuel because we had a little bit of a green flag run. So I thought that we would be able to make it to the end, but with the lap 81 caution, those things got out of the window. But it's fun. It's a new system, and it's fun to race.
Absolutely, and making it look easy here at Stafford Springs. And not to rapidly change the subject, got to give a quick shout out to Brandon Campbell in the 99 car. You can tell he works production at racetracks because every camera angle we shoot to, he seems to be in the background. He's over there messing up the grass. David Arut's gonna be irritated. He's gonna have to go out there and cut those straight lines again that you can see from the International Space Station. But in any sense, G. Fortin coming home in second place here tonight. A hard-fought battle and a solid points night here tonight. Anybody out there watching? Anybody you want to thank? Friends, family, sponsors, neighbors, the microphone's all yours.
Yeah, I have to thank Gestion LPJ for if you need any pit box or anything like this, give him a call. He has some great stuff. And also Tim for doing this league. It's pretty fun to race, and you guys for broadcasting the race.
Absolutely. Putting on a show here, entertaining the masses as we like to do. G. Fortin finishing in second. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And right next to him, Ashton Reiki, you've caught up with probably the fastest trash can I think I've ever seen. Brett Suggs in the 33 car finishes in third, and you've caught up with him.
Yeah, I'm down here with Brett. Brett, another great strategy race. You pit early. You came back up through the field, finished on the podium. What's your thoughts on this style of racing?
It was definitely different, I'd say, going for 45 minutes rather than a set number of laps. Kind of throws you for a curveball because you don't know if you're going to make it on fuel, but this thing could go for 45 minutes straight if we're lucky. So you never really know what to do. I was just kind of hanging out in the back because I missed qualifying and just kind of had to claw my way forward. So we let the race kind of do what it was going to do and went from there.
Absolutely. We spoke earlier on in the broadcast when you were running your laps. A new paint scheme on the car. What's that all about?
Yeah, figured I'd bring out the trash can this week. We always like to have fun and creative schemes, and Racer Tees always does us a nice one. So figured the trash can was coming out this week, and we'll see what we run for the next one.
Awesome. And as we always mention, there's guys on the car, maybe not this week, but in real life, on the sim rig, who helps you get here? Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, certainly want to thank North Creek Construction, LMI, Task Pack, Lake Norman Power Cleaning, BSRM, Truist, Sports and Entertainment, TH Motorsports, a lot of people that help us on the IRL program. But then on the iRacing program as well, it's Racer Tees and Lee Norton. He does us a solid job every time we're trying to go racing. My boys at Jones Barbecue, we didn't have them on the car this week, but we're always thinking about them. Just everybody that puts this league on, Tim, yourself, Paul, everybody that helps support this league, and some good racing up front too. Really good to see B Wilkes get the dub, and some good racing with G there as well.
Absolutely. It's always nice to have you out here, and hopefully we'll see you at the next one. Paul, I think you've got our winner beside you over there. Is that what I see?
Indeed, I do. Brandon Wilkinson coming home with the victory, starting on the pole, leading a bunch of laps here tonight. And Brandon, we'll ask you the same question we've kind of talked to all these other guys here from Victory Lane. What's the strategy getting into this thing? We look at a stopwatch this time around rather than a lap counter.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I felt like, I kind of knew the invert there before the race, and I don't know, I almost wish I didn't start on the pole. I feel like I burnt it up way too much there early, especially, me and the 48 were racing a little bit, and I was trying to just pace off of him, and I think Sam did a really good job saving his tires, and if that caution weren't to come out, I mean, we were screwed anyway because we needed fuel, but Sam definitely had us covered there, especially on the long run. He obviously did a way better job saving tires, so just kind of saved by the bell there. It was a kind of a no-brainer. It made the strategy pretty straightforward for us tonight, but yeah, definitely different. You're looking at the time remaining and not the laps remaining. Honestly, if it was 200 laps, it would have been a ton of fun. There was a ton of tire fall off tonight, which kind of surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but yeah, definitely saved by the bell. But yeah, it's totally different.
1000%, and got a lot going on. We're here at VidaneTV. We know we've crossed into the 2024 calendar year. We still working on the real race car. Are we getting ready to hit the tracks IRL soon?
Yeah, I'm going to run a go-kart at Millbridge full time, and then obviously just spotting probably 12 months out of the next year. So it'll be a busy race season coming up, and looking forward to it.
Absolutely, and there's got to be some folks out there rooting for that the virtual Wilkinson ride here. Who gets you to and from the racetrack?
Yeah, nowadays I'm not so sure about the amount of people, but thanks to all my guys at the posse. It's a pretty good group of retired sim racers. Everybody at Epic Media, One Life Foundation, Loco Toco Designs for making these things look awesome. Yeah, just a good group of guys to race with. Pulaski had a bad night tonight, but there's just a really good group, and it makes it fun to get on here.
Absolutely, and picking up another dub here for the 56 camp. Congratulations, good points night here heading into it. A couple of races left to go in this late model stock series. You got anything for them?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll keep trying to come back and plug away every time.
Fantastic run here. Congratulations pulling away the win here at Stafford.
Thank you.
And Ashton, I'm looking over to the big red trailer, the big red and white trailer, as it were, and Tim Terry is still pulling his hair out over there. So we're not sure if we're going to be able to talk to Tim, but we've got a huge race coming up this weekend. Sunday, the Hallahan 333, the 4th annual Hallahan 333 at Bristol. Always a big race here, and going to be a lot of fun to see these guys at Bristol. We're going to be able to see some new camera angles as well. That's going to be something that we'll have in the shoot here, and it looks like Tim's done pulling his hair out for the time being, at least enough to get a headset on. Tim, solid race here tonight, a little bit different here at Stafford.
Yeah, we've done this a couple of times in the past, and I don't necessarily think the format was leading to some of the issues that we had. I think it was more of some of the drivers, they didn't sing Old Lang Syne enough during New Year's, and Old Acquaintance Be Forgotten, whatever else it goes on with that song. We'll see what transpires. We do have one suspension we have to tend to after this, or at least discuss. But I think there's still some animosity between some drivers and what have you, which hopefully they can all find a way to park before a 333-lap marathon on Sunday. But it should be a fun show nonetheless. Come on over, enjoy some racing on a Sunday afternoon. As Paul said, he's got some stuff queued up. And second to last race before the season finale for the Supers. So plenty to decide with the Jim Hallahan 333. Congratulations to Brandon Wilkinson on the win. Great racing up in front, and hopefully we see some good racing coming up on Sunday and the next 3 Tuesdays, something like that, to end the season.
Yeah, and before we get there, just a handful of races, a big handful of races here this week at VidaneTV. No rest for the wicked. Landon coming in hot on the track, or off the jet plane last night, coming into the show here tonight. The Turn 4 Podcast Winter Series returns tomorrow night. Got to give another shout out to AC4, Mr. Cardinale, with Pit Stop TV jumping in with the save here. First time I was able to actually call a race from a hotel room, and it was right across the street from Daytona International Speedway. How cool is that? Thursday night, NEP returns. They're going to be kicking things back off, and I think they're racing every Thursday night till the end of the season here, as we're going to be finding ourselves a champion. And Tim made mention the big Hallahan 333. Hard to believe it's the 4th annual running of that event. That's going to be an absolute blast on Sunday afternoon. Be sure you tune in. Make sure you give us the like, the subscribe, the thumbs up. Give us a comment as well. Let us know. It helps out with the algorithm in a big way. It lets YouTube know that you want to watch some entertaining iRacing action here pretty much every night of the week. Monday night's going to be kicking off with RBR Season 7, the RBR Maritime Group, inking that deal. Great to have those guys back here as well. Looking at a Super Truck Series for Friday night. That deal is almost set in stone as well. But for everybody here at VidaneTV, Tim's Corner Motorsports, and the Wingnut Productions Late Model Stocks, I am Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. For everybody else here at VidaneTV, we'll catch you on the flip side. And when we do, we are going to be doing it live.